Finally, we're at the main event of the night, WWE Week Championship. Randy Orton defends the title and loses to Daniel Bryan. I did not see that happening. I thought it was pretty much a lock that Randy Orton was going to retain through some kind of shady method here. And that prediction that I had made before, that they were going to do a ref bump and Daniel Bryan wins the title, and then they end up reversing the decision and giving him a DQ win or something like that. When they had the ref bump and they started doing that kind of stuff, I was just like, oh my God, don't tell me they're going to go the exact same route, because then I'm going to have to like boast about it on Smack Talk and all that. But then at the end of the night, the pay-per-view just ends, and I'm like, holy shit, all right, never mind. I think a lot of people were expecting something to happen after that, and it was a little bit awkward in a positive and a negative sense that it just ended with Daniel Bryan getting the victory. And if they wouldn't have stripped him of it afterward on Raw, I think it might have been a mistake. The main reason why is if you have Daniel Bryan win the title at SummerSlam and he gets that big celebration, and then you screw it all up and take the title away from him, and then at the next pay-per-view just give it back to him again, why wouldn't you have just done that at SummerSlam? So I like that they're mixing this up a little bit. They stripped him of it instead of having somebody reverse the decision like I had said. And curious to kind of see where they're going from here. But match quality, I thought it was pretty good. Not as good as I was expecting it to be or hoping that it would be, but still best match of the night. And how did it come off for you guys there live, Steven?
Um, the match quality, as far as the live show goes, it was very entertaining. Orton actually played to the crowd a lot, so it gathered a big response. And the ending was probably the weirdest part because we didn't notice it was a quick count. It was like, oh, he didn't kick out. He didn't kick out. Shit. And everyone just stood up and started yesing. So it was an awesome match to be there for live. It was an awesome moment to be there live for. So it was our favorite moment of the night, especially after not one title had changed earlier in the evening. Um, Honestly, as far as my prediction goes, prior to this, I thought Orton was going to retain. I thought there was going to be a ref bump. However, I thought they was going to pull a swerve and have a fuck finish with Cody Rhodes screwing Daniel Bryan. It'd be an awesome elaborate scheme, but guess they're taking a more logical route.
Bryan?
In terms of match itself, I could see it was a good match. It was solid. I didn't expect Bryan to come out of this and win. I saw the fast count. I was sitting there going, that was a bit too fast. But usually you do see it a couple of times in some matches as well. I thought the ref was just a bit overexcited. The fact that they alluded to that on Raw and used it as a way to strip the title from Bryan was, again, a bit head-scratching. But in terms of the title match itself, clearly was the match of the night.
Head scratching in a bad way or a good way? Because I actually kind of like that. I thought it was, they're trying something different.
In a good way. In a sense, I could see why they did it, and I could see how Triple H has used it as a way to get the title off of Bryan. Again, sort of like putting another barrier between Bryan and the WWE Championship. Because I believe it's all going to come out eventually that Triple H was behind the whole fast count thing. But I don't like the fact that it's leading to a Randy Orton Daniel Bryan title match. I think they really missed the boat on the fact they could have actually done a tournament over the championship, made it a bit more interesting.
And what do you think about all this, Peyton?
I thought it was an excellent match. I thought the surprise ending was awesome with Daniel Bryan winning. I certainly did not see that coming. I mean, the whole point of just watching the match, and then suddenly Daniel Bryan hits a knee and gets the pin. Wow. Okay. Awesome. I was very happy with that. I thought it was just going to be another run-of-the-mill status quo, moving our way to Battleground with Daniel Bryan continuing to chase Randy Orton, which, man, they still found a way to get there. But big surprise, happy way to end the pay-per-view. The whole ref thing was very, very weird, though. I actually didn't even see him get bumped out I turned away for a second, and when I turned around, suddenly the referee had dark hair and was much more tan. So that was confusing to me from the start. And then when the ref came back, there was that whole thing where they're like, "Are you okay? You sure?" Like, you never hear them say that. It almost sounded like they were mic'd when they said it with how loud it came across on screen. And then the fast count, as first, like Burhan said, sometimes referees get excited and sometimes just count fast. I thought maybe that was the case because the announcers didn't even acknowledge it. They just were talking about how excited they were that Dan Bryan got the title. Like even JBL, who the whole night was being very, very heelish. Like he's always kind of supported the heel, but lately he's really falling into that role, and it showed this night a lot. He didn't say anything about the fast count. So I figured it was just a mistake or something like that. And then, of course, they made it this big thing the following night, which, by the way, strongly pissed me off. And I think what everyone needs to do, call your local cable company and tell them it's bullshit that they're going to reverse decisions like that happened on the previous night. It's like, how can we depend on these endings if they're just going to change things later down? You know? How can we take these as good faith that these things are on the up and up if they're just going to erase them the next night?
So
it's like they know what's going to happen the following night.
I demand a refund for my tickets.
Yeah, let's talk about the refund thing. The people requesting the refund for what happened in these kind of things. I could see if you think that you deserve a refund because there were a bunch of matches that were advertised that don't happen, even though it's the whole card subject to change, or if they had like power outages or anything like that. But when these people do that, I mean, it's kind of like, it reminds me of that woman who sued because of the movie Drive. It seemed like it was going to be an action movie, and then it wasn't.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. It's like, seriously, people, and the fact that the cable company, because the WWE no way in hell actually warranted this decision. They said, they're 100% behind their product, which if you're a wrestling fan, you would know that something bullshit like this was going to happen. It's one of those things that they're trying to elongate this as much as they can. They're trying to make sure that they extend the storyline and give it more shelf life. The fact that people were sitting there demanding their money back because the decision was reversed the next night on Raw, really, it's so boneheaded. It's like, did they seriously? Was it one guy who did it sarcastically, and then suddenly he was like, "Oh look, I've got my money back," or is it just literally tons of people flooding the gates, demanding their money back from the cable company?
I don't know. It's weird though.
It's not like the fans don't know that it's a fix. I mean, literally, me and John has been sitting there in the arena. There's a fucking 5-year-old and his mother talking about heels and faces and other shit from behind the scenes. I'm like, fuck me, I wish I knew it. Well, actually, I wish I did know that much shit back when I was younger. But I was like, damn, everyone's in on it now. There's no way someone did not know that pro wrestling was fake or not. It just comes down to them being money-grubbing bastards.
Yeah,
right. And
yeah,
if you do know, then you know that kind of stuff happens, and you're like, oh, I can see why they did that. And if you don't know, then shouldn't you just be really mad at Triple H?
And you know what? Even if you know what, let's just say they still believe in kayfabe, they had no idea that it was. I say good for them, man, because I wish I didn't fucking know all the shit that I did. It'd make wrestling a whole of a lot more fun.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, same.
So that's basically it that we're talking about for this whole pay-per-view. Let us know what you guys thought about all the matches in the comments below, and you can also send in your comments on the pay-per-view review, links below. And we'll be covering everything that comes along with Battleground over the next few weeks. Actually, what's it, like 2 weeks from now? They're really rushing this, aren't they?
That time of the year.
Yeah.
Colleen would know.
It's the October rush. But so that's going to take us into plugs. And before I do the usual one, I want to throw out a plug there for the website tournament that we're doing right now, the best Grand Slam champion of all time. And I've really rushed that, speaking about rushing things, where we're going to run down everything in the course of like a week and a half. Instead of the usual, we break down one round per week, and we really drag it on. It ends up being like 2 fucking months or whatever the hell it was for. No, it was way more than 2 months for the Hottest Divas and Knockouts tournament. That was like a fucking year. But yeah, if you want to go and you want to vote for who you think is the best Grand Slam champion of all time. We are down to Triple H, Chris Jericho, Shawn Michaels, and Kurt Angle are the final 4 for that tournament. So go to smarkoutmoment.com, cast your votes, because it is ending very, very soon, and we were going to update you guys on the winner
Shawn Michaels.
Saturday the 28th. That's how fast this is ending. First of the normal ones, Sign Me Up initiative. Bring a Smark Out Moment sign to any kind of wrestling event, whether it's a WWE pay-per-view, a taping of TNA Impact, Ring of Honor autograph session, doesn't matter. Send me a picture or video, and I'll put it up on the website and on the show next week. Remember to send in those monthly mailbag questions for the TNA Bound for Glory review coming up later on in the month. Leave those comments, subscribe, so on and so forth. And I'm going to bring this back around to me later on, but for now, I'm going to pass it on to Burhan.
For my plugs, sorry, I'm sort of going in and out here. www.nerdgenius.com, youtube.com/thenerdgenius. That's hit 100 subs. Thank you to everybody that's been subbing, and thank you for everybody that keeps watching this show and I Got Gameplay, etc. Episode 44 is coming up with our special guest Rob Man. Make sure you guys tune in for that. Tomorrow at 8 p.m. we're going to be having episode 43, where we're going to be doing the history of Grand Theft Auto. So if you guys want to check that out, I would love to see you there. So that's I Got Gameplay, and check out from I believe from next week I will be getting my brand new equipment, and my production company is going to be starting up as well, Enigma Entertainment. More details about that soon. It'll be on nerdgenius.com and also on our brand new site, enigma.co.uk. So make sure you guys check those things out, and stay tuned for everything Michael Burhan. This Job for Hire episode 2 is coming as well. So yeah, you guys are going to be in for a treat. It's going to be an awesome month to be Burhan.
Steven, your turn.
Tomorrow I've got a special pre-show edition of Unanimous Decision Mixed Martial Arts. It's going to be leading up to John Jones versus Alexander Gustafsson. In addition to that, normally will be 8 o'clock every Saturday, but we might be moving to a different day, so stay tuned at my Twitter at UDMMA and at Stewego, that's STEWAGO, and also look us up on Facebook.
And last but not least, Peyton.
Well, I got lots of things you could always check out, but the easiest way to do that is to check out my personal social network profiles. MRPADEN is the handle. That's Mr. Payton. Check out all the fine shows that we have over on Mega Powers Radio by going to megapowersradio.com. You can also find us, on all those social profiles as well. The links will be there. megapowersradio.com. Awesome shows every single night. Most specifically, join us for the Monday Night Raw post show, where you'll hear the general cast characters you hear here, and also some other special guests every night following Monday Night Raw, immediately following Raw. Been having a lot of fun over that show lately, having some random guests showing up. Who's breathing hard over me? What are you doing? My plugs aren't boring. My plugs are awesome. Don't be yawning at me.
And Colleen might be there.
And Colleen might be there, and JD might be there, and Texas Jeff from Texas might even be there. You never know who's going to show up. We might even have a return of what was one of those?
Hank Hill.
Hank Hill. Yeah, maybe have a return of Hank Hill or Harry Carey, or you never know who's going to show up on Mega Powers Radio. So go there. Fanboysanonymous.com. I'm posting stuff on there a lot, most specifically a lot of the podcasts from Mega Powers Radio, but also a few articles about beautiful blonde women and technology and funny stuff, and a lot of other people write stuff there as well. So go support all those projects. Good night.
All right, guys. As mentioned, go to Fanboys Anonymous for everything geek culture related. www.outonlimbs.com for my social commentary. If you want to follow all other things under A Mango Tree, just check out the Tony Mango and A Mango Tree and all the other YouTube and Twitter and Facebook accounts. There's pretty much something for everything out there. Thanks again to everyone on the panel tonight, as well as all of you for listening. Coming up next week, our special feature will be running down the winner of the Grand Slam Champion Tournament and talking about who we would have picked if there's something other than the winner. And that'll do us in. This has been another Smark Out moment, and we're being counted out. Adios, everybody.
5, 2,
Bow, 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 bow. Natural cold sting. It's a natural cold sting. Natural cold sting. It's a natural cold sting. It does this. It does that. It's funky like a monkey and cool like a cat at the end of the show. I'll say it again just to make sure you know it's a natural cold sting. It's a natural cold sting. It's a natural cold sting. It's a natural cold sting.
Oh, for fuck's sake.